Hello and welcome to the Reptile Workshop, where we take one project in 1 hour from start to finish. I'm Craig Hansen, also known as Bash Coder Reptiles, and tonight we have a very special project. You're going to get to see behind the scenes what only a few normally get to see. Every 2 weeks, a group of people get together and they have what's called the chopping block. Now, these people are in the top 2 Patreon tiers of the Mutation Creation Patreon, hosted by Billy Rose. So joining us now is the man himself, Billy Rose from Mutation Creation. How's it going, Billy?
For having me, Craig. I like the idea. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. It's going to be fun. We're going to take a topical approach to this, and we're going to be able to, I think, cover some really interesting topics that maybe aren't talked about a lot. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little about the chopping block and how it all got started.
As you know, being in the top 2 tiers, I would be looking at, and prior to we starting the chopping block, I would actually look at people's lists. They would send me in, see what their breeding plan was. And I would sort of look at it and say, hey, this is a good idea, but I think we should, this is better. Especially the chopping block isn't about what I want to do with your collection. It's what you want to do with yours. I look at it and ask some questions. What are the projects you want to be in? What's your budget for each project? Where do you want to go? And what do you have right now current? And with all that knowledge that I see, I look at it and I make suggestions, with their pairing, say, hey, this might be better, and this is a longer run, man. And I basically just analyze it and give them different options. And I was doing that quite a bit. It was like, working at the one-on-one. And, sometimes I do 2, 3 a night. And sometimes, there was one gentleman that I saw, hey, here's some ideas. I'm going to give you homework. Next thing you know, a couple days later, calls me back with an updated list. I'm like, there you go. That's great. And there's some things where if you don't have a big budget, you've got to make sacrifices. I'm just being real. And after 4 or 5, I guess, discussions, it was like, there you go. That's great. And then I started getting overwhelmed. James Bergman from the Reptile Room, Bergman Reptile Room. He's like, hey man, if I can help in any way, man, like, I can be there for you. And he helped out with that one customer or the one.
He's helped me out too.
Yeah. And it's just like, holy moly, this is great. And he said, you know what we should do? We should ask to see amongst the group if they'd be cool to put up their collection in front of everybody and all of us, chime away on how we think it could help them. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. It would fucking save me a lot. It'd be great.
Yeah.
And it's not just my perspective. There's sometimes that, when we're doing a chop, somebody will make a nice suggestion. I'm like, oh man, I didn't even see that. Yeah, that is great. So it definitely helped out. So I put up a nice thing saying, hey guys, this is what we're thinking of doing. We're going to call it the chopping block. What do you think? Who's down? Everybody's like down. And of course, Max from Interstellar is like, no, I'm going to be the odd guy out and say no. And I think he was like the first or second person to get the chop done, but he just wanted to be different. And it's been amazing. It really has. And, it's,
well, it sure was amazing for me. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was crazy. I came out with a completely different perspective, and having the group dynamic is really awesome. Well, we had a little contest among the lower tiers of your Patreon, and we asked people to submit sort of a mini essay and their lists, and we chose. They were great.
They were great. Yeah, it's hard to pick one.
I know. And so let's bring our winner up.
Yay.
This is Christa Cheatham from Neuro-Fi Exotics.
Hey, Christa. Guys, how are you? You pronounced the last name perfectly.
Look at that.
That's rare.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you. I want to thank you for being willing to kind of share your entire collection with us. This is really the first time the general public gets to see this. And I think it's going to be an eye-opener for a lot of people, just to see the process we go through. What are you looking forward to getting out of it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward, especially in a big group setting, getting lots of different ideas as I've kind of gone through the first year of this. people's thoughts and recommendations are so different. So it's really hard to kind of take it as a whole and really kind of go piece by piece and kind of figure out what works for you and what would be best for the collection, obviously, in the direction you want to go in. So I'm excited for that part.
Quick question. Did any of those people, did they ask what you wanted to do or what your goals were long-term or what your budget was? Any of that kind of stuff?
I would say long term, yeah. Like, do I want to do this full time? Like, how many clutches? That's a big thing. A lot of I guess the push has been into is the multi-recessive. So I'm here now. I'm kind of like, well, I want to keep my collection manageable. So am I in too many projects? That type of thing is what I'm kind of thinking about now.
100%.
Yeah.
Speaking of goals, let's have a look at your goals here before we bring the rest of the cast of characters on, all right? So the first thing we ask you is customer segmentation. This sort of means, who is the customer? You've said no to pet wholesale on purpose, no to pet owners, and no to the highest tier. What was going through your mind here?
So wanting to keep the collection like manageable is the biggest thing for me. And so a lot of this has been going, okay, I have so much space. I have so much animals I want to work with. The cost essentially that it takes to feed the animal for a lower end animal is going to be the exact same as it is to feed a higher end animal. So I might as well really try to work the higher end stuff, and kind of my misses, so to speak, when I'm hitting these projects will kind of fit that kind of lower end tier is that was my thought process on it. Yeah.
And you know what's great? Right now, it's not like you pick this and that's what you're stuck with for life.
Mm-hmm.
It's something where, hey, this is where I'm at. This is where I feel comfortable right now with for all of the, things that you just said. And then, next year or 2 years later, it's like, hey, you know what? Like, I want to do some of the business minded and the high end. And, now I really want to, I got an employee or now I want to step it up. You must look at your collection almost annually or even, sometimes in between that to find out what direction you want to go or, bring it back or take it, another step forward. But, this is very, it's good. It's not like, I'm going to get everything or just business minded only. And
yeah, it's fluid. Yeah, I would say that for me too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you've factored in cost, which is huge. And one of the biggest pitfalls people don't do normally is to factor in the cost.
Yeah.
And time.
Still working on that too. I just started doing my own rodents like the last couple months. So I kind of got it'll take some time to kind of factor in that cost of it. But yeah.
So let's talk about your projects. These are, we just asked you to highlight your top 3 that you're most excited about. Talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah, it was really, really hard just picking. And I asked you, it was like, just 3. And you're like, yes, 3. I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. So I chose pretty highly multi-recessive projects. But as you when we look through, you'll see that I really want to work from it kind of at a base, kind of more of like a double with the really codoms that I want, because I think codoms are really important, not just any of them, but the really right ones that kind of work together as I've seen, and then kind of build that up at sort of a base and go into the multi-recessives is kind of my process. I am not so into, I don't know, just breeding for all these hets initially. I kind of want to build it so that it makes sense, where I have a visual on one side or a double visual on one side to another to kind of work it up. Hope that makes sense.
Awesome. Billy, what do you think of this?
100%. And it's something where, like you said, it's not easy to pick 3 and what do I do? But the goal of staying focused and saying, hey, okay, well, here they are. And not only focused on what you want to do in your projects, you also took a step further and have said, hey, I don't want to just do it this way. I want to sort of up my game and start and do it like this, which is much more successful for you. But it does save you time and space, but it does cost you a little bit more money because you're getting into it at a higher level. But at the higher level, you also get better odds. Those animals now, instead of being just a bunch of hets, you can take those now and put them into all different types of other projects. And now you're making 100% double hets or stuff like that. So it's definitely advantageous for you for years to come, having a higher end stock of animals.
Genes wanted. We always ask for this so that we don't suggest things that you don't want and things that you do want. Calico, that's cool. What makes you want calico?
I like what I've seen it do in some combos. I really like the sunset calico, and I like what it does in hypo. And I have quite a bit of hypo, and I do like sunset. So that's when if I could find a hypo calico female specific, that'd be kind of look for what I like. Yeah.
Love it. And of course, Spider makes a lot of people's list, as well as Bell Complex makes a lot of people's list too.
Yeah, Champagne's another one that's usually on there.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that too. Pastel, I kind of want to limit. I do have it, but really want to try to limit it. Definitely not make supers. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a bunch of people. Behind the scenes, I want to say we've got Nikki and Kurt from Irresistible Pythons they're producing. So thank you guys for doing that. And tonight's episode is actually being brought to us by Red Onion Reptiles, our buddy Bear.
Hey, Big Bear Man.
Yeah, man.
I love that name.
Yeah, man. All right, here we go. We're going to bring everybody on board. Okay, let's introduce everybody.
I'm Andrew from Powerhouse Pythons. Been in the top 2 tiers for quite a while.
Awesome. Kevin?
Kevin from A Exotics. Look forward to this.
The worst half of A Exotics. Whitney couldn't be with us today.
No,
but she did make that nice background for us, or that image.
She does all the work.
Eric?
Eric from Blackjack Reptiles, and looking forward to doing this. It's very cool.
Yeah, man. And the big man, James Bergman.
The man behind the whole chopping block idea.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here to be a part of this, and let's get to chop and see what we can do.
Yeah, man. Scott and Jordan.
We're Genetic Genesis. I'm Jordan. This is Scott. We have a very large collection and been managing it with Billy for the last 2 or 3 years.
So. 2.5. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to share a spreadsheet. By the way, in the wild, this thing has been known to go till 4 a.m. We have seen it go that long.
Yeah, a few of them.
We have a lot of inside jokes. Yeah, exactly. We usually start at 9 and last till wee hours of the morning. Tonight we're keeping it to 1 hour, so we're gonna make a lot of headway really fast. Okay, so let's get going. Here's the list. We've got the males on the left, females on the right, and their age and birth date in the third slot there. So we're starting with Ultramilk Clown Pied.
Yeah. And one thing I'll just say is a lot of times, too, we're looking at this, and then we start moving down into other projects, and okay, you know what? Oh, this animal here would be great up here. Next thing you know, we're making arrows this way. So,
yes. I'll do my best to keep up on the spreadsheet.
So, take it away, Craig.
Yeah, so we've got a Cypress Clown Head Ultramil male and a Leopard Pied Double Head Ultramil Clown. The second one is probably up to breeding size.
Yeah.
And you're growing up a bunch of Ultramil Clown type things. Mm-hmm. Guys, what do you think of this, and what do you think about the pairings, possibilities for these 2 males and this group of 7 females?
Definitely like the codoms that are presented. I think the Cypress does a lot for Clown. I haven't seen too many Cypress Ultramils, but I'm sure it will look really, really good. And so with some of those other combinations, I mean, definitely, I think Cypress, maybe Black Pastel would look really good with the fire in there.
The only thing I wrote down for this group was that Black Pastel Fire Clown Head Ultramel. I don't know if I would work that into the triple with Pied, because Black Pastel and Fire are both going to be super high white. So I would probably keep that to the Clown Ultramel.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I agree with that.
The other thing I noticed too is that Odie Ultramel Het Pied, you could potentially move it down to the Odie Clown Pied male on the second grouping, because then you're going to get super Odie Pieds potentially that are double het Ultramel Clown. So that gets you your triples that you might want in the future.
Yeah, you're
Talking
one
about
and
this one right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
that's
one
really
and two to hit a pied.
Yep. They're all going to be
triple hets no matter what.
yeah.
But you might get pieds that are double het.
Plus the chance of the super OD.
Super OD.
What do you think of that, Christa?
Yeah, I like that idea. She's pretty good size too, so she should be up to breeding this coming year. I would think she's about pretty close to 1,000, 1,100 or so.
So one thing I'm gonna say, and I say it all the time, but it is an awesome animal. So your leopard pied double head ultramel clown, he's pretty much breeding size, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't. And did you purchase him?
Yeah.
And one thing I always like to say is, with that group, it looks like there's only one female that could actually go to that male.
Okay.
So what I like to do is a nice powerhouse animal.
Mhm.
I'd like to purchase when I have 2 or 3 animals pretty much almost ready or 6-8 months away, because that animal is going to just sit there and be fed and taken care of. And what'll happen is, say in Tinley, October, next thing you know, there's a better animal right there for almost a little bit more. It's like, you know what? These animals aren't even ready for another year. Here's a male that I could probably get up to size. Oh, it's so much better and stronger with a couple extra genes. I always like to buy my male when the females are pretty much, 800, 900 grams. You buy them and raise them up together.
Okay.
Because it sucks having an awesome powerhouse male and you can't do nothing with them, because, come on, females grow follicles. It happens even to everybody, I mean, it's...
And I have one. My kind of plan was to bring at least to this proven girl, this pie at ultramel. Paws had hypo. If it's there, it's there. If it's not. But that girl has.
That's a cheap test.
What was that?
Kevin's presence here is brought to you by Grey Rider Reptiles.
Shed testing.
Shedtesting.com, baby.
Shed testing.
And one of my favorite quotes is, "What is your budget for testing?" Because, we're going to be honest here. You're shooting a majority of this as clown het ultramel to double hets, making clowns, possibly het ultramel on the black pastel fire. Like the double hets, you're taking the long shots. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot. In the intro, you were talking about maximization of space that you have and not wanting to get so much holdback. So you're creating a huge amount of possible double hets.
Yeah.
Yep.
If
with
you
shed
don't
testing,
land, what are the odds on the leopard pie double het ultra clown, which is her primary male right now?
1 in 16.
Going to double het.
Yeah.
Wow, great if you hit it, but you're throwing some dice right now.
She does have a couple in
1 in 4.
her clown
That's
project.
right.
She's got a banana clown proven female and an Enchi OD vanilla clown proven female. That if she bred those to the pied double het, then you could at least make clown double het. You'd have to test for the ultramel, of course, but I mean, then at least you're furthering your projects with them rather than just making more clowns.
In the top one, I like everybody's suggestions, which is great. I do like Andrew, black pastel fire into the pied. I would definitely stick it to the clown head ultramel, but you're 1 in 4. Oh, sorry. Clown head ultramel. You put it to the cypress clown. You're what's that? 1 in 2? No, you're still
1 in 4 for the double. Yeah.
Yeah.
Map clown, you're just going to
You
be.
might want to move that somewhere else, like just because it's a visual clown. Are you doing clown ultramel pied? I forget the.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was that one of them? So you could actually put it to the OD clown pied. But no, because you don't want pied. So
the tricky part is that you're swinging for the fences with triples right out of the gate, which is great, but it's a low odds endeavor, and it has a lot of byproducts. Upgrading this male especially would be great.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is everything we have. Like I even have animals that, I mean, I have a hypo ultramel pied. And he's been breeding like a madman. Great. But you know what would be better if it had OD and Enchi and asphalt? But
Well, that's the thing with these codoms. Like, good luck finding a blackhead ultramel clown out there.
Exactly.
Correct.
That's
Exactly.
very, very important to me too. Not just, I mean, okay, go ahead and look at ultramel clowns. There's not much out there with codoms. What are you gonna do? Pastel, okay, that's out there, but I don't want what's already out there. I want to create stuff that's not.
So I'm glad she's even noticed that, because a lot of people are just going to work with, oh, I can produce all these. I'm going to get a lot of these, you know, oh, pastel enchi clown pies. Great.
Yeah.
So is everybody else.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're aware that, hey, yes, I could have more power, but at the same time too, try to find me something with all these genes with power for sale. And if it is, it's going to be quite high. But I like that your thought process is there, you know, and I've been doing that. And many of us prior to shed testing, the only way for us to get a lot of these combos out there is do it the old school way and put work in and you know, take the long route, you know?
So with that being said, that female that we were looking at there, that black pastel fire girl, she's a mid 2023 line 8. She's not going to be ready for a little bit. You could put her to your sunset stuff, because one of your projects that you're looking at was sunset ultra clowns, right?
Yeah. Future.
And black pastel fire sunset ultra clowns are going to be pretty cozy looking.
Mm-hmm.
It eliminates the pied.
And it
right?
eliminates the
Both
pie.
fire and black pastel, like Andrew said.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea too. Because my kind of thought was working at, first of all, ultramel clowns first. So the cypress to the black and the chocolate, getting better odds on that. And then working that into the pied once I hit either, you know, a double visual or something like that.
Yeah. And everything that we suggest isn't the, you know, the it has to be done. It's the only way to do it. There's so many different options, and you're like, hey, I want to make one of these. Yes, I know my odds aren't the greatest, but it's also fun to chase and hit some of the stuff because it's so rewarding, you know, because, you know, I've bought animals that are great, but I wish I made them because it would have been greater, you know? So I like that you're, you know, focused and putting the genes that you want to work in these projects in, even though, you know, you are taking maybe a little bit of a longer route, but you are going to, you know, get to where you want to get to.
That the whole, you know, back to your what customer said section you want to aim towards, you know, you're wanting to stay kind of the higher 2 to 3, but kind of like they're saying that byproduct that you're going to hit with a bunch of these is going to land you a bunch of the pet stuff.
Okay.
So you're going to hit several of that it's kind of like today we were going through listing some stuff that hadn't been made market yet. And I'm like, okay, what prices are these going for? And some of them are triple heads. $500 max for a triple head male. I mean, they're not, I probably would get just as much money putting $200 on it at a show and not listing the heads and only listing the codoms.
And the reason why, especially the males are so low is because anybody that is doing double and triple and quads, you're going to get that with your own byproduct, making the females to hold back. So, and I myself, if somebody says, hey, Billy, I want to buy this quad male, what females you have? Oh, I'd be probably like, no, it's not the right male for you. So, you know, that's another thing too. It just because it's a quad male, it's not great unless you got quad females or you've got stuff in that project, a lot of visuals and stuff for that male. And I see a lot of people just buying, oh, I got a quad male. Well, what do you got to put to it? One of these, I had this. I'm like, man, you're 10 years away from, you know, hopefully being able to hit the quad, if not a triple visual head with shed testing. So that's why you
But
see
here
some
you
of that.
are. Here you are a couple years in and you're swinging for the fences. It's pretty awesome.
I think it's great. Yeah.
Well, and
These are amazing animals with a lot of different, it's not just pastel, het pied, pastel,
The
het clown.
codoms in these are really nice. Especially for ultramel.
well, you don't always play too much into your odds game, because the last couple of years I've put hets to visuals and gotten one visual versus putting double hets to double hets and getting 3 visuals. So the odds gods
You
are
never know.
not always Correct.
Hypoclown-pied.
OD clown pied's great male.
We've already moved this down into this project from the other project.
Yep.
And we're just hypothetically moving it. We're not, you know.
I don't like the banana OD clown pied pairing in there. I think you can do something better with that female. Because all you're going to make is OD banana. Like, you're going to make the same thing.
If I am going to keep it there, it wouldn't go to the OD pied clown. I would put that to the chocolate hypo het pied, but I think there's
That's
something
another
better.
triple that she's got to work then.
Yeah, so I think there is something better.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would put that to like maybe your sunset or something, or
What about to the Exanthic clown and make the
yeah, exactly, the Exanthic yeah.
So now you've turned it into a triple,
And that's
with the Exanthic bananas that have a beautiful cream color to them, and add the OD to bring back some intensity back to that cream.
But she doesn't have a male yet.
I have a male yet, yeah.
Oh,
Not that one yet.
Sorry.
Not yet.
Wah, wah.
Too bad it's not VCR. I could.
I was like, damn, she's got a double visual. Damn, I'm proud of this.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it can go down there, but she has to find a male, and it's not one of her top 3.
I kind of would contradict though with the banana OD clown pied still though, because everything comes out clown pied, and clown pied pricing has stayed pretty steady in the market recently, and so they'd be potentially super OD banana clown pied. So then I would try to get the premium pricing on it while it's out there to still be made.
Are you breeding do you want to breed stuff for a project or to
Correct.
right? So
Right,
if you
'cause
want
that's not
to breed
advancing anything.
I mean, you could sell that entire clutch. Personally,
You
I
can
would
do it the first year, and then the next year you could breed for a project. You want
Yeah, but what I would rather breed for a project first year to already have them in your rack, and then the following year breed for sales, and then the following year, hopefully what you held back the year before, 2 years prior, is ready to breed. So instead of making money now and then starting a project next year that's going to last 2 or 3 years, I'd rather start the project ASAP.
Mm.
And she's going to have a lot of clown pied stuff, that she's going to hit regardless without using a double visual. That's just my opinion.
Your Dreamsicle, you've got Dreamsicle / Grail. So I'm assuming you're doing Holy Grail stuff probably at some point.
Mm-hmm.
She might be decent there with that OD blackhead lavender het pied.
Mm.
Right, and you'll make pieds that are double het with super OD blackhead banana.
Yeah.
Banana's not good in Dreamsicle, though, is it?
Yeah, not really. I wasn't very impressed.
Yeah.
At least the banana is a female.
Yeah. But everything else was good.
She's got better stuff she can move to that project, though. I've got some notes on that. Like, I don't know if I'd move banana OD clown pied to that project.
I like the hypo pied hat clown to the OD clown pied. You'll be making clown pieds. Was that 1 in 4?
1 in 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Clown pieds and OD clown pieds het hypo. Great. It's great for your project. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe the banana OD clown pied to your pastel sunset het hypo. No. She's got a lot of sunset down there. That male is going to be really working.
yeah. So one thing I noticed about this hypo clown pied project is I would probably focus some of my money on upgrading the male in this project, because you really don't have a male to hit the triple.
Yeah, there's no het hypo stuff.
It's a long road.
Yeah. So it's going to be a really long road to get to that triple. So if I was going to spend some money on a male, this would probably be one of the projects I would do it in.
So you'd like cut him essentially now, or
I mean, you should look for a super chocolate or a chocolate hypo clown or hypo. I don't know if there's pied available.
hard to look. It's hard. I look. You're spending like a lot. So
Yeah,
a
'cause
lot
it's
for a
just-
chocolate clown. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Super chocolate clown. Yeah. So my thought was making super chocolate hypo clown pied was like kind of that sort of.
But you have no chocolate on the female side, so that's a long project. And one thing about long projects, I've been in many because I've didn't have shed testing and mistakes and let me hold stuff back. It really sucks when you're trying to make something and you're chasing the odds and then you see it and everyone else is making them and they're for sale. And it's like, I'm going to make it. And you miss for another 2 years. It's like, why didn't I just buy the damn thing? So you're going to be, you're going to have different things where I know myself, it's like, listen, I don't care. I have so many animals in this project. I'm going to wait to make it. And then there's some other projects that I have decently made. But if I miss after first year and there's a male that's available, now I'm going to go invest and buy that animal because now that takes that project to another level. Meanwhile, I'm still playing with the one I'm going to chase because I have better odds because I have more animals, and especially with you saying that you want to keep it tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you probably just upgrade him then. Okay.
The math is with this many projects, chasing double and triple recessives, the math on the number of babies you'd have to hold back and keep is pretty staggering.
And shed test. And feed and racking, upgrading. So
the more visuals you can get, the better. And you have time, by the way. On this one, you've got some more mature females, but you have time to upgrade your males. All right, let's move on.
Xanthic clown, we have no male. So we're just but Hurricane Clown Het VPI Xanthic. That's nice. And you got a VPI Het Clown. So
my thought was working that into clown pied too eventually, but
I might have some stuff after this year, both females as well as visuals that I can maybe help you with this project possibly. I
just don't know if it's like too much with everything else,
You can never.
But you need a female. I mean, you need a male because you got these females. Like one's breeding right now, so you need to put one of those males that's a visual clown combo to make, or she's just going to sit there because she's breeding size, right?
My thought was I got a confusion leopard clown male to take to that and get
great,
hopefully visual confusion or something leopard het VPI and then run that to the.
So do you actually want to work Xanthic?
I mean, I like it, but I feel like I like other stuff more.
I know where he's going with this.
If your budget is, hey, I can spend, 10 grand, so I can spend $5,000 on this male and then $5,000 on something else.
Yeah.
If you don't really care about Xanthic, then just spend 10 grand on something else.
Yeah, or you can sell these females if it's not something. If Xanthic isn't in your wheelhouse, or you've got a VPI Het Clown breeder female and a Hurricane Clown Het VPI Xanthic, you could sell those off because they're both females. It's not hurting you because you're not really in the project. It's not like, something that's at the top of my list. And it's going to save you from either making and holding back stuff and spending money. You could use this to facilitate even buying a better chocolate hypo het pied or clown or something. You could sell that male with a couple females. Now you have some funds to go and purchase that male. And don't forget, Tinley's coming. And, there's going to be a lot of stuff and a lot of people breeding. And, I'm dying to see what's hatching out of my, we all have to wait. But you'll see something available. So you might want to cash some stuff out and sell it so that you have funds to find that proper male for those projects that you really, really, really want.
Mm-hmm. And this is why we call it the chopping block.
Because those animals, we would say, chop.
All right. Sunset hypo.
Awesome.
Chop it.
Okay.
Chop it.
You can tell Eric does not like sunset. New slide.
There's a few here that don't like sunset.
That's right. A lot of people can hate. It's okay.
So, the one thing I would say is that male's starting to get a little busy. So I would probably add like a backup male. And then the other thing I was thinking is that yellow belly sunset female. because the top listed project you had was the Sunset Holy Grail as the one you were most excited about. I would move that down to one of your dreamsicle males.
I agree with that. That's kind of my thought too. Another thought is getting a clown double head sunset pied for that kind of Holy Grail project versus you could do sunset head clown too, but I don't know what your thoughts were on that. I haven't gotten him, but
I mean that's so far out there though. You're going from breeding double/triples to quads in one male. I don't think that you've got the female.
Well, and again, we're talking, one of the focuses with keeping a manageable size collection. We've got lots of long shots here, and like this many long shot projects does not keep us collection a manageable size.
I think for each triple, you probably got 20 plus animals. Right. Like, especially by year 3, because you're going to make stuff this year, then you're going to make stuff next year, then you breed those things together the next year. Right? So you're 20, 30 animals per triple. And that's probably light.
Especially having different genetics and different morphs, and taking it, this way and that way, and then bringing them back. It goes from, 3 to 4 to 20 to 50, and then it gets out of hand real fast.
Yeah. So, I'm open if you feel like cutting one. I mean, just interested on see what you would do. And if you wanted to keep a manageable, which projects do you think are, I don't know. I know it's down to what you like, but also
it's got to be wise. Yeah, it's good.
I know what Eric's going to say.
You've got to work with something that you enjoy. It's got to be something that you have a vision to see things that people haven't produced yet. So, when you look at, okay, I want to cut this project, I want to cut that one. Well, are these ones that you have less interest in? And are these ones that maybe haven't or have maybe already been overworked by other breeders? It's like that's when I'm looking at a project, or like I'm looking, okay, if I take this to this, the first thing I do is I go to Morph Market. What babies in this realm have been produced or have ever been listed? I understand that just because they're not listed doesn't mean they haven't been produced. But if I go on there and I search and I find 0, okay, that gives me more fire for that project that I'm invested in.
So personally, Christa, with the way that you've been talking about it, I would chop your hypo stuff, and just you obviously don't like hypo. I mean, it's not a bad thing, right? Everybody has their own preferences, but just the way you've talked about it, you're like, it's hypo, whatever, right? So clearly, it's not your thing. So, but you're working it into several projects that if you just eliminated hypo, then all those projects would fit together.
And it's hard to have an animal that's there that can still work some of your projects, but it's like, do I really need it? It's hard to let go of animals that you have. And it's like, and especially when, I got that, 3 years ago when the price was hot, So sometimes you want to say, maybe I'll do a one and done so I can get something out of it and then reassess your animals. Then sometimes it's like, hey, let me just get out of it. I'll take a little loss now with a few others. Now I can use all this money and maybe some more to buy the right animal to upgrade and take the ones that you do want to another level with better genetics and stronger, like double recessive, or even try to find a triple. If I can buy a triple now, and holy, takes me from here to here instead of just sort of leveling off everything. And it's hard to let go of some of these animals. Like I got this breeder female. It's hard, but it's sometimes where it's something when once you do it and you see the result of what you did with the funds and you know what, you might not see it right away, but a couple years later, it's like, oh man, I'm so glad I invested in this male. Look what I'm hitting. Look at the odds. And especially it's stuff that you really want to make compared to like, I just got some, Xanthic clown hypo stuff. It's all right.
However, Sunset hypo is pretty great.
Yeah.
As far as the hypos go.
See that reaction, Craig?
Look, I mean, but you're not I mean, which are you excited about, Sunset or Hypo?
Sunset. Yeah.
And why do you have Hypo in your collection in these things? So what's been the main mover?
I just like, I like the Sunset Hypos and how they look as far as, that's like one of the better visuals for that animal,
Agreed.
I think that's the direction everybody is kind of going with that too, but
it's a great group. Definitely is. It works.
I like the sunset to the puzzle too. That's pretty awesome.
So I will say we had no puzzle until Brock put out his sunset puzzle, and I'm like,
yeah, that's what I got. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But instead of going, if you don't want to do hypo on your sunset and you still want to keep sunset, play with the clown.
Yeah, exactly. Move it up to the ultra clown stuff.
The ultra clown or even coral glow sunset stuff is bright. Our males aren't.
Lavender.
Our males will be big enough next year, but like we've got a OD red stripe, yellow belly, pastel double het sunset clown male. And as far as I've seen, I can't find a sunset clown that has that many codoms in it.
Correct.
Now, are we shooting long to hit all those in one? Yes, but
Definitely worth it.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Has anybody said to move the yellow belly sunset female?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They said
that was a conversation earlier.
into the grail stuff, I think.
Yep, I agree.
Because that's what I was kind of thinking on. If I do not do the sunset hypo, the sunset grail, it's kind of like untapped in that kind of sense. I feel like dreamsicle or a lot of people that do it. I'm just trying to find like a different avenue to kind of create the space from that.
Confusion leopard, Enchi, yellow belly, pied het lab. Love it.
Yeah.
That's a monster.
Pastel spot nose lav hat clown. Love it. ODYB dream. Love it. Like Enchi YB dream, lavender clown pie. Like the stacked. I love it.
So the one thing I was going to say with this group too is I know she said she wanted to add calico to her collection. I think this would be a good group to add calico with.
Absolutely.
Because OD and calico work really well with scrambler. And
pied as well. Enchi, calico, yellow belly. You got everything here. Calico clowns are pretty decent too.
Yeah.
So it's great. Yeah.
So when you're shopping around on Morph Market, I would look to add it to this group.
I have a few shots at a lot of calico dreamsicle combos this year.
Okay.
And my ODYB calico possible Enchi pied het lavs. I've got a few. I just got to hit the odds. So I love it. As soon as I saw about, I think 2018, 19, some of the calico pied stuff, I'm like, man, everyone's missing out on the calico with pies. And then now you've seen what people have been doing with it and other things like sunset, and it's good. It's definitely something that we're working on a few things, but it's like everyone else. I don't have a lot of it. I'm working it into certain projects, but definitely in my dreamsicle and my pied stuff, and especially in my scrambler, 100%.
Okay, cool. So yeah,
It's an awesome group.
The dreams is what got me into, I would say, ball pythons in general, I think. So that was kind of it's out of probably everything, it's probably my favorite project because I think it's got the best animals in it. So I put a lot of the funds towards getting a lot of those double visuals and that triple visual.
It's built very nicely.
Yeah, that's good.
And a lot of those, right? Visual dream. You don't have any double hets here. Not at all. No, you got a triple visual. You got sunset, dreamsicle double visual. You got a lav het pied, a pied het lav, and a lav het clown. Out of that group, those things there, these animals that you've invested a lot into, they look great. Not many people have them. And guess what? Those aren't a one and done. You'll be breeding those things with different stuff 2, 3, 4 years from now and still being making incredible stuff with the power and the genetics of the male.
Well, and I know somebody in the Patreon group that if they seen this grouping right now would be offering you top dollar for the whole group.
This is true. This is true. One thing I like is that some of this you can be rolling on right now.
She is due to lay next week to the blackhead, lav
Amazing.
Yeah, I went with
Awesome.
him first.
Two animals in this pairing that I'm not a huge fan of in that pairing is the triple, because I feel like you're kind of wasting it unless you need a better male for it. It doesn't really do anything with those male. Well, I mean,
You can't buy a triple.
You
though.
can't buy.
no, but she can make them. She's got time to make them before that.
If I would do anything, I would move it up to the sunset and make quads.
Well, that was my thought with the clown. I was trying to figure out if I was doing a sunset head clown or I do the clown double het sunset pie, because then everything would be clown. You have a pretty good shots of hitting clown pies, and then you test for the sunset. But I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit cheaper than going the sunset head clown route versus a sunset double het clown pied.
Did we move the banana OD clown pied? Where'd that end up?
We didn't move it. It stayed where it is.
So if that moved to the sunset, then the babies from that you could breed to your triple.
Okay.
Yeah, because everything will be, pastel banana, OD, triple het, possible hypo.
Has anybody, I know there's none on a morph marker, but has anybody done a lavender sunset?
So there is a lavender sunset from Brad Bowie. Yeah, a female.
Yeah.
I've seen from Miguel, he's got some pied double het lavender sunsets up for sale too, but like two of them. So it's
the actual double visual.
I've only seen a sunset lav.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing to point out too is spot nose in that pairing, in that pastel spot nose lav het clown. You'll want to keep it with just clown. You can try, but then with the pied, we've always been forewarned.
Yeah, we always try to stay spot nose out of pied because it's a high white, very high white. That'd almost be better if you could to put that into your sunset and then test for the het clown, because pastel, spot nose, lavender, the only thing you do have a chance to hit super pastel in the,
The different male,
Yeah. So, but but just keep it there and hope you missed a spot nose or put spot nose somewhere else or, and then look at the clown. You got a whole bunch of clown stuff. A lot of females where those two males might not even be able to handle all those females. So now you can start moving some
maybe
stuff.
different projects too. Yeah. Oh, I think the Confusion Leopard Clown, that's a male too. I think that he can be moved over. Yeah.
Oh, Confusion Leopard. There you go. There's your big breeder right there. So 49, Craig, move that to the left.
Oh, it's a male?
Yeah, it's a male. Yeah. Maybe I put female on the sheet. I don't know.
So there's a great male.
Okay.
And then I'm just skipping down to paint. You don't really have anything paint.
Yeah.
What's the thought on that, Christa?
I thought hypo, but now you guys are saying get the hypo out. So, or just, I don't know. I'm not super into paint clown stuff as far as adults. I don't really like how it looks. I really like the hypo paint. What I've seen.
I mean, you can make sunset paints, right?
Yeah.
That'd probably be pretty cool.
I thought a sunset hypo paint, but maybe that's another two big projects. Maybe just doing sunset.
Yeah, I mean, it's another recessive in the mix. I think there's still value to looking at this as a chop, right? And saying, stuff like VPI, stuff like the paint that's not really built out in a full-fledged project. Laser focus on the things that are really important to you and cut what's not so that you can do what you do and do it well.
Yeah, and with that, say you do really well with, you investing all the stuff that you're chopping into another male or even projects to make it better and stronger. In a couple years, you can just go buy, wow, I really like that hypo paint. I can go buy a combo hypo paint het pied or combo hypo paint het clown because they'll be available. And now it's like, hey, I wish I started, but I want to focus on this. And then if you do it right, you'll be making money and doing well. And then it's like, hey, now I can go and get into this paint and this VPI clown stuff stronger and better.
They're
while
still
you're concentrating.
Young. The girls they're young. I mean, they have time to grow.
I throw a
Wrench.
a wrench. Look at that spot. Back up to the clowns for a second, because it's something is reminding me of. We spoke with Scott when he had all those clown projects, and we said it's a lot of clowns.
Yeah.
What would happen if we take that spot nose cinnamon clown and move it up into the ultimate clown project?
I was going to pair to that cypress.
Yeah, there you go.
The cypress male is what I was.
Yeah, because all those genes look great in that.
So honestly,
So, move that all the way up, and now at least you'll be making clown het ultramels, I believe, with cypress.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would have
There you go. I like that.
So it's a test, and you still have time to potentially upgrade your male to put to that.
Yeah, and I've got spot nose ultramel and I got cypress ultramel, like breeder females. They look great. I don't have the mix, and I don't have them het clown.
Right.
So it's
But
definitely something
there,
that's great.
It thins out your clown some, so it doesn't stress your males out as much.
Yep.
And it's giving you another gene in your ultramel clown project.
Cinnamon cypress, spot nose, ultramel clown. Nice. Definitely.
That's one I got from you too in the raffle. She's she's already almost 1,500 grams already.
Right. So you're talking tail end of this year, maybe early 25.
Yeah.
Glad she's doing well. She was a pretty one.
She never stops eating. So
So you just added, a couple $100 more to the testing. So
I mean, we've got a cinnamon cypress clown, and even as an adult, they look amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, and then adding ultramel for sure.
So you can move those other clowns too, honestly, because they don't really further any of your projects by just making more clowns with them. Like, you're going to make stuff to sell, right?
Yeah.
We're running into the same issue right now of like, okay, I've made some pretty clowns, but I don't really want to keep a pretty clown.
Yeah, right? The banana clown girl, she already laid, so I was going to sell her just because she don't really further anything,
Is the Anchi-OD vanilla clown girl breeding, or is she?
She laid, and she's back on food now. Yeah. I didn't know whether maybe taking that. Well, I don't know.
I would probably do her to your leopard pied double het.
Okay.
Because then you'll make clowns. I mean, you have to test the ultra, but you'll make, Inchi leopard OD vanilla clowns that are double ultra clown pied, or ultra pied rather.
Okay.
What do you think of Kevin, what do you think of the Wookiee red stripe clown into the Ultramel project also?
Yeah. Yeah. I printed out my notes and I just wrote better for her.
That Wookiee red stripe is still cutting edge enough.
Absolutely. She needs a better male. Than she should not be bred to one of those.
Right. So put her into a project. And I hate saying it, but Ultramel clown, like you said, you cannot find Ultramel clowns with codoms on or with anything on.
Yeah.
Or to your sunset.
Sunset. Yeah. Even to the sunset. Like,
right. And I mean, honestly, like with your sunset, I would even look and see because sunset clown seems to be the way that you want to go. Right? If you can find something in sunset clown, Ultramel, sunset, clown, whatever. Like Miguel's made a bunch of that stuff. I know some other people have too, right? So you can buy that male rather than breeding your hypo sunset that you don't really want.
Yeah. But yeah, so much to grasp, eh? Like, it's just there's so many, and
it's a lot.
There's a lot, and when you go over this and start processing it, you could actually, what? We didn't really talk about this, but you know what? I actually want this now over here. You start just also learning to dissect what you thought was perfect, with all these different ideas, and.
I did have one more actually. You have that white lace male. Yeah. You say you want to get into clown pied. Mm-hmm. You could breed that banana OD clown pied.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with that. Yeah.
You're going to make animals that you can't produce, right? Or you can't buy, rather.
I mean, we're doing our white lace to a clown pied het axanthic this year, just because you can find lace clowns. Yeah. You can find lace pieds.
You can find lace.
You aren't going to find lace clown pieds.
Yeah, right. Unless you can spend. There's some for 10 grand, but
right. And here's the thing: in she's in late 22, so 23, so tail end of this year, next beginning of next,
she's
going to be good to go.
Yeah.
See, now you've saved yourself money by chopping the other pieces. You've now consolidated money. You're consolidating your resources to expand where you need to.
Yeah. And
your
hard to
major
let go.
fund cannot buy.
You know, it's hard to let go of some stuff because it's like, but it's if, like James said, if you consolidate it to make the groups you really want better and stronger, you do lose on the other ones, but you're gaining on the ones you really want. And if funds and space and time and keeping it small, let's get rid of these other little projects that aren't really there and invest it into the ones, you know, better animals for the ones you do want. It helps, but it's hard because you want all these different projects.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. It's like kids in a candy store. Like, how do you pick one?
Yeah.
You know, it's
especially
hard.
with males. And I think you'll find as this collection matures, you'll find that you bought those males early and would have had a lot more flexibility in your vision if you delayed the males a year, and be able to upgrade them. Wow. You know, normally we're in one of these groups trying to push people a little further. Very rarely are we in one of these where we're like saying, whoa, 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 you know, dial it back a notch.
Yeah. It's hard.
Awesome.
It's tough.
I like some of these changes that were made, and I'm interested in like that Wookiee red stripe clown. If you can prove it to be het ultramel, I would love to have one of those because you can't find it. And those pieces, just awesome. Great. You know, I hope this, you hold true to it and you decide to follow some of the advice that you got here. Cause I think you have some powerhouse animals that even in their het form, if you don't want them, you'll be able to move them. The second they hit morph market, anybody who's interested in those projects is going to just eat them up because they're just not available.
Right.
Like that with the dreamsicle stuff and her grail stuff, she didn't have to list morph market. I got a list of people that will be begging for some of that.
Same thing here. Like, I'm trying to chase some stuff, and you know, that's the thing. I love that project. I've been in it forever. I'm still pushing it. I finally hit, you know, the Enchi Holy Grail, and it's a male. So now I'm taking that and I'm putting that into different things also. But, you know, how do you get all these other genetics in there? You know, if you can't make it, you got to buy it, because I have the infrastructure to buy a male that you have more of, and I can use it and put it into some of my other projects because I keep growing. You know, it's not just, my Dreamsicle project's 3 females now and a male. Now it might be 3 males and 16 females, and it keeps growing.
Christa, thank you so much. Really awesome chop. Your collection is just amazing. You've got a lot of great ideas. It's just pretty stunning to be looking at this collection is 3 years old. Is that right?
As a year old, just started.
Oh my God.
Just got in about a year ago.
Literally, if I'm being honest, a year, July. Yes.
So not only the way she's structured and learned, but some of the key animals, like how many people have, a Holy Grail female? I mean, I got a male finally, but I mean, that's an animal that I don't even have. I have lavender clown breeders, but that's an amazing animal that, you know, it's great.
I will say on my first bull python 2022, so I guess that was the start, but just a pet, just to see if I.
That's how they usually get you.
And then
first one's free.
Thank you for being willing to share this with everybody, and thank you all to the choppers. Thank you so much.